Right now, Bonnie Black, Little Miss Organised, is with you, and we're going to be talking about garages. Bonnie, g'day.
Hi, Kat.
Now, I'm so glad that we are talking about how to organise garages because it's a huge problem at my place. We moved into our house a couple of years ago now, and one of the first things we said when we moved was, oh, the storage space is fantastic. And we promptly went about filling it up. And now I don't even know what's in half of the boxes that still remain in our garage unopened from the move. And I guess that's probably a pretty common scenario, isn't it?
Yes, you're definitely not alone. The amount of people who move house and have all these boxes that I'll deal with them later, and later never comes, and then 7 years later you think, oh, it's time to move again. Oh, there's those boxes.
What's in there?
What's in there again?
If you've got a question for Bonnie, by the way, if you'd like some help getting organised, please give her a call. Give me a call. We're here to take your calls. 1300 222 612. That's 1300 222 612. Tell me about the state of your garage. Is it a mess? What would you like help with? And if you've actually figured out a neat way of neatening up your car space, well, let us know. You can text us as well, 0467 922 612, or you can use our social media. Check us out on Facebook, ABC Brisbane, or via the Twitter handle at ABC Brisbane. So, Bonnie, let's begin. The garage. It's a disaster. Where do I begin?
So for most people, when their house is a little bit messy and disorganised, they always seem to start with the garage, which is like the worst project you could possibly start with.
Okay. And why is that? Because it's so big?
Yes, because it's huge. And it's not a space that we use everything in it every day. Like a kitchen, for example, you're cooking in it 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. So you need that space to be organised. And when it is organised, it makes your whole day go more smoothly. Whereas a garage, if you can't even fit your car in there, you might only be using it for storage, so it doesn't really impact you on a daily basis as much. And it is such a mammoth task to do the garage. I mean, people just start pulling everything out and they lay it all out over the lawn, and then they think, oh my goodness, I can't be bothered doing this, and they just shove it all back in, and it gets even worse. So you've got to have a real plan of attack for the garage and make sure that you're well hydrated, you've had a good night's sleep, that you start early in the morning, there's no distractions, that you've got someone to help you if possible, because there's a lot of heavy stuff that we keep in our garages. So you really have to not just do it on a whim. A garage needs a plan of attack.
Okay, so you've done your garage audit. You've taken a survey of the stuff that you can see, at least, in that garage, and you've phoned a friend to come and help out. How do you go about, though, deciding, because as you said, a lot of the stuff in there isn't stuff you use all the time, but you keep because just maybe.
Yeah, one day.
How do you decide whether you ditch it or you keep it?
That can be a really tough question. It really comes down to what your goals and your ideals are for your life and your family's life. So if you used to water ski, but you haven't done that for 5 years, and you know, you've got like an injury that's preventing you from doing it again, maybe it's time that the water skis go.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So if it's stuff that you're not using anymore and you're not seeing yourself being able to use it within the next 12 months, 2 years, often that stuff can really go. We tend to keep a lot of toys for our kids from their younger years as well, because we remember them fondly playing with it. No, they might want to pick it up again. And people really need to distinguish the difference between what's a 5-minute toy that's only going to be played with for 5 minutes and what's something that's truly valuable that the kids will get a lot of enjoyment out. So there's some of the things that we tend to keep. If you've been a renovator,
okay.
we're renovating at the moment.
Oh.
So, and our garage is actually being renovated, turned into a garage from a carport. So I am living this as we speak.
Okay.
And the stuff that you keep from renovation projects is just insane. You know, the paintbrushes and the paint, all the stuff that comes with any sort of reno project that you just might need again one day. Like my husband was doing our plastering, and we've still got all the plastering tools, and I promise you, he will not be plastering again. That was a nightmare.
Done, and we are done. Yeah, my husband has a lot of bits and pieces, odds and ends, tools and things. I swear, they're like doubled up in there because as opposed to checking what we've already got, we are probably both guilty of just buying something brand new and then you just throw it in the heap in the garage and create an even bigger problem for yourself. 1300 222 612 if you've got a question for Bonnie Black, Little Miss Organised. If you're trying to organise your garage and you're coming up against all sorts of strife, or if you've got an awesome garage cleaning strategy you'd like to share, 1300 222 612. So then, Bonnie, we've figured out that we've got to get rid of some of the stuff we've got duplicates of or what we're never going to use again. We still need to store things in our garage, though, don't we? Like, our garage is only supposed to be for your cars, really, or it's like...
Oh, look, I think because the culture has changed, the way we use our spaces has changed. So originally, a lot of Queensland houses just had, open carports or they just parked out in the open air, and then the carports became garages. And then all of a sudden, garages became about more than just cars. It was a place to store the tools and the gardening and all that kind of thing. So that sort of stuff's fine and it's all very useful. It's when we start storing 10 boxes of Christmas decorations when we only need 2 and, lots of camping gear when we only need a couple of things out of it. All those kind of things that, we've got the space in the garage, we'll just store it. But eventually what we end up doing is putting so much storage stuff into the garage that our cars don't fit, and 2 out of 3 homes in Australia will not actually be able to fit both their cars. A double garage will not fit both their cars because there's so much storage stuff in there. So this is kind of becoming a bit of a problem when our cars that might be worth 20, 30,000 plus are being parked outside
for the sake of the blinking Christmas decos.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're coming from. 1300 222 612 is the number to call if you've got a question for Little Miss Organised, Bonnie Black. G'day, Gay from 9 Mile Creek. How are you going?
I'm well. How are you this lovely afternoon?
Yeah, not too shabby. Thanks. I'll be a lot better once I can figure out how to get my garage organised. What's your story, Gay?
Well, my husband's super organised in his garage, and he's actually put a mezzanine in over his workbench.
Oh.
His work area. So all the bits of wood and all the stuff that you don't use a lot that gets in the way, he just puts up in his mezzanine.
That's a great idea.
That's really smart. And so with that mezzanine then, Gay, have you got, what's up there, the wood and boxes and tools and that kind of thing?
Yeah, wood, boxes, tools, like winter clothes that we don't use, in summer. Go up in plastic boxes, bring them down when we need them.
Oh, smart. And see, you say plastic boxes. That's the other thing about getting organised, to be able to see the contents of the box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's actually made, so he's made it so he can get up in the middle of it as well. It's open in the middle so he can see right round it. It's excellent.
Gay, you got yourself one handy husband there.
I have.
How did he actually, I'm just curious, how did he actually go about making it? Is he a builder? Did he have a kit? How did he figure it out?
No, he's just one of those people that can actually turn a hand and build stuff and do anything like that. He's just taught himself over the years.
He's a keeper, as they say.
Very much so.
Good on you, Gay from 9 Mile Creek. Thanks for your call. 1300 222 612 if you've got a smart space saving strategy like Gay's husband from 9 Mile Creek, if you're looking at creating more space for your cars in your garage. Bonnie, just coming back to other strategies for storage in the garage, Gay's husband's made a mezzanine level. What do you suggest? Shelves, bookcases? What are some other handy ways we can go about maximising the space in our garage?
A lot of people tend to put their old pine furniture into the garage, which is perfectly fine as long as it's usable and it's practical. What tends to clutter up garages most, though, is when we just put all the excess furniture that we're no longer using in the house in there and we just kind of use that as our storage. So one of the best investments you can make for your garage and for your property is to actually invest in some proper heavy-duty shelving. So whether that's through a company who will come in and put in all the shelving for you and do all the hooks in the places that you want, or whether that's through going to your local garden store and actually finding some heavy duty shelving there. But uniform shelving in any space is going to be the most effective way of maximising the space, because it's going to look the best, it's all going to be level, you're going to have the most flexibility in what you do with that kind of shelving. So in terms of cupboards are great because you can hide things in them, although in a garage you tend to need a lot more open access. So if you've got cupboards and you need to move cars out to be able to open those doors, that kind of impedes the practicality of it. So open shelving is probably my preference. And then clear boxes, as you say, so that you can see what's in them. Make sure that they're labelled. Make sure that there's no cracks in the lids or in the tubs themselves, because then you get cockroaches and things getting into the contents. Cardboard boxes tend to degrade after a few years. The tape seems to fall away, and little creepy crawlies seem to get into things a lot more easily. So cardboard boxes are definitely a no-no.
Okay, noted. Excellent. Well, Bonnie Black, thank you so much for helping us organise our garages. One final tip?
Final tip is if you are going to get your garage organised, do it a section at a time. So one wall at a time, lay it all out on the floor, go through and make your decisions, put it all back, and then move on to the next section. Okay,
well, I'm going to give it a crack. Maybe not this weekend. Maybe some other time, but sometime soon. Bonnie Black, littlemissorganised.com.au. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kat.